and welcome back to our CSS series. In this video we are diving into one of the most important concepts in CSS, the box model. If you've ever wondered why your layout looks off or why your space behaves in strange ways, box model is the reason. Once you understand it, the margin, padding and borders will finally make sense. Let's jump right in. In CSS, every single element on your web page is treated as a box. The box model explains how the browser calculates or figures out the size of that box. It's made up of 4 parts. The content, which is the text, the images, or the actual stuff inside. And the padding, which is the spacing around the content but still inside the box. The border, which is the edge or an outline around the box. And the margin, which is the space outside the box, separating it from other elements. Here's an easy way to think about it. Imagine a juice box. The juice inside is the content. The empty space inside the box is the padding. The cardboard walls are the border, and the space between the juice boxes in a pack is the margin. That's exactly how the browser calculates how much space your elements take up. Now let's go to write some code. Mine is already written. The only thing that's not written is the CSS. As you can see from my right, there is a code, and on my left there is our view here on how our code looks like. So I've already created a note of our CSS so that we can just copy and paste it, which makes things easy and the video faster. So let's just copy this and paste it here, and then this is how our element has changed. Here's what's happening in this code. The width, which is 200 pixels, defines the content area. And then the padding, which is 20 pixels, adds extra space inside the box. And then the border, which is 5 pixels, draws a line around the box. And margin, which is 30 pixels, creates a space outside the box. Let's see how it looks like on the dev tools. So you're gonna go to your Chrome and right click and then inspect, and then let's just make it bigger, and then you're gonna click here to select an element. This is the element that we want. Remember, I said everything in CSS in the box model is a box inside a box inside a box. Everything that we've added in our CSS created a box, and then a box around that box, and then a box around that box. And then this is how we are seeing it. We can see how wide this box is, and this is a clear representation or a simple representation of a box model. Box inside a box inside a box. Okay, so let's go back to our code. So it's not just the 200 pixels. You have to add everything to know how wide the box really is. So the 200 pixels, which is the content, and the 40 pixels is for the padding left and the padding right, and then the 20 pixels is for the borders around the box, which is 5 pixels each, and then this gives us 260 pixels total width. It's not just about the 200 pixels, you have to add everything up. So it's 200 pixels, which is the content, the 40 pixels, which is 20 for padding left and the padding right, and plus the 10 pixels, which is the 5 pixels for border left and the border right. That gives us 250 pixels total width, and then we add the margin on the top, and the box sits at 30 pixels away from like the text on top. And by default, the browser adds padding and border on top of your width, which can be confusing, but here is a fix. Let's just go and find our fix here. So we are resetting the margin and the padding that the browser added by default for a cleaner look. And then let's just save. And now this way, the padding and the border are included inside the width. That means if we set the box to 200 pixels, it actually stays 200 pixels with no surprises. So let's just add our H1 and body for decoration purposes, and then save. And now we have something cleaner that shows our box model example. We added a margin button to the H1, and then this one created a padding on the body so that it creates some spacing around this box. That's why it's looking the way it's looking now. And then this is the box that we started with, and here's what we've covered so far. Every HTML element is a box. A box has content, padding, border, and margin. Now padding is the space inside the box, and the margin is the space outside the box, and the box sizing is the border box, which keeps the layout predictable and cleaner. Now, great work so far. You now should understand the CSS box model, which is one of the key foundations of web design. If you find this useful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and share it with your friends, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.